सब धरती कागज करो, लेखन सब बन राय, सात समुंदर की काशी करो, गुरु गुण लिखा न जाए, गुरु गुण लिखा न जाए. If this whole earth was transformed into paper, and all the trees transformed into pens, and all the water of these vast oceans was turned into ink, even then the greatness of Guru could not be transcribed. The greatness of Guru could not be expressed. The magnificence, the greatness of the Supreme in incarnate form could not be written down, could not be expressed, could not be spoken. And to such a supreme Shakti, power, the epoch-making, the divine, the perfect master of this time, I bow down to you and offer you my deepest and highest regard and salutations into the lotus feet of Her Holiness Param Pujniya Param Vandaniya Ma Shambhri Ji. I bow down and offer my salutations to the immense, the magnificent, to the wondrous Sarv Shri Param Pujniya Param Vandaniya Param Shraddha Baba Ji Ashutosh Shambhar Maharaj Ji. And my salutations and regards and the depth of what I'm trying to express could not be complete without offering my highest and deepest regards, love to the lotus feet of His Holiness, the most revered Sarv Shri Ashutosh Maharaj Ji. I would like to take you all 26 years back. On this day, on the 21st of July 1998, a child around the age of 8 years old walked into a room very much like this one and sat down in front of the incarnate form of Guru, of the Divine Master, of the Perfect Master. Sat in front of Guru's Swarup. And now this child is looking and doing darshan. And the child hears a voice. And the voice says, "What have you brought, my child? What have you brought with you today?" The child looks here and there and then looks at Guru's Swarup and goes, "That's my Guru speaking to me." So the child at that point bows down and then collects again. There's a tray in their hands. The child has a tray in their hands. And in that tray, there are a range of offerings. There's fruits, there's sweets, there's flowers, and there's some pocket money. And that child now says to Guru, picking up this offering that they have bought, and go, "Hey Gurudev, you have asked me what I have brought. I will answer that. But first of all, I have come to ask you for something, and I also want to tell you why I've come with these offerings." And then the child continues and says to the Gurudev, "I have heard you are the perfect master of this time, that you are that divinity incarnate, And the litmus test for that and the proof for that is the fact that you can show me God within myself. You can make me realize my soul. You can open my third eye. And you can lead me on the journey that I was born to make, to realize God, to attain God. Because I have heard that the scriptures say, in the Guru Granth Sahib Ji, it says, Sant Sang Antar Prabh Ditha Naam Prabhu Ka Laga Meetha. That when anyone comes into company of a true Guru, of a perfect Master, they show them God within themselves. And then that primordial name that exists within them becomes sweet. They understand the sweetness of God's name, the sweetness of that Param Prakash. That our revered Lord Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Jyoti Shamapi Tad Jyoti Tamsa Paramuchate. In the beginning of that saying, of that verse, Lord Krishna is saying, I am the light of lights, and I am that supreme light, I am that supreme Shakti. I am that Prakash. And at the end of that verse, it says, Hirde Sarvishtitam, that I exist in every being. And here, Gurudev, I have heard, you can show me that divine light. And as Lord Krishna says, that light is within all of them, in all of us, then it must be within me too. And I have come to you so you will show me. In the Bible, it says, the eye be single and the full body be full of light. That's what I have come for. Please grant me this. Please grant me this divine knowledge that so many sages, revered saints, avatars have talked about, have experienced in their lives, have written all sorts of scriptures about the greatness of Guru, who gave him this divinity. I have come to ask for this. Please bestow this upon me. However, Guru, please forgive me. The world I come from is not very divine. And there, when we want something, we give something, we trade. So here, I have come to offer you a trade. For this divine knowledge, I am offering you these fruits. These fruits symbolize my body, that this body that God gave me, I want to put into the service. The service that you would require of me, any service you require of me, I am offering my body in service to you. Please accept this offering. These sweets that I have brought and the flowers, these represent my mind. They say a human has a beautiful mind. But hey, Gurudev, I don't know if my mind is beautiful or not. All I know is this is all I have. And I have come to give that over to you. To bow it down, to put it down into your lotus feet in exchange for that Brahm Gyan, that divine knowledge. This pocket money that you see is the representation of my ego. I have come to lay down my ego at your holy abode, in front of you, to you. Please accept these offerings, because I know they are not very much, but to me these are the most loved, the most precious, and I am offering this to you for the precious gift of divine knowledge of Brahma. Gurudev smiles, and then Gurudev raises his hand and puts it above the child's forehead, and at that point activates the third eye and shows that child God, that Param Prakash, that light within himself. And at that point, Guru gives the fruits or the Four Noble Truths that identify this Brahm Gyan, that this Brahm Gyan, this divine knowledge is known by. First, that divine light, which that child now sees within himself. That divine music, this music that he hears within himself. That primordial name that is within each and every one of our breaths has been activated within. And that holy nectar. And the child experiences this, thanks his Guru, and leaves. Now this child continues on his path, not knowing that on that day, on that auspicious day, that the most wondrous occasion, ceremony had been done, had been completed. That he had been bestowed such a supreme gift, such a blessing, such a boon that will change the course of their lives. That nothing will now be the same again. Now, at every step, this child will have the support of his Guru, will have the love of his Guru, the trust of his Guru, and the faith of his Guru. When we walk upon this path, take on this journey of Brahm Gyan, once we see God within ourselves, and we start walking on this path, we start moving forward. We are experiencing everything in a new way. Now, where our senses would go towards the world before, we're now being challenged to sit and to turn them inwards. But before it wasn't possible. Without Brahm Gyan, it wasn't possible. Because before, when you close your eyes and sit to pray to the Supreme Consciousness, to connect with the higher power, there's nothing but darkness within. But now, when this disciple closes his eyes, there's light within. He can see within himself. He can hear the internal world. That name that created this universe. In the Bible it says, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. That name is within our soul. And that holy nectar that purifies our mind, that purifies us, we experience that day on day. But even then, the value of this isn't understood until we start moving forward. Now, this child was given 4 noble truths, and then given 4 further instructions. That from now on, you are to meditate at least 1/10 of your day, to practice this technique that you've been given to connect with the Almighty, to communicate with the Supreme Consciousness of this universe, to connect with God, whatever you believe. Because science calls it physics. Those that call themselves, I say, spiritual in the Western terms, call it magic. We work in terms of scriptures and actually have seen, we call it spirituality. There are many, many, many names for this technique of connecting with Ishwar. Call it Kriya Yoga. Call it prayer. Call it devotion. Call it what you may. At this point, the child has been given clear instructions by his leader that from now on you are to meditate at least a tenth of your day. At least a tenth of your day. You are now to listen to satsang, to spiritual discourse, to participate in it, and to offer it to others. You are now to do seva, to give selfless service. And you are, whenever you can, to make a good effort to ensure you come to receive the darshan of the incarnate form of your Gurudev. So now this child meditates as much as the child can. Listens to satsang, learns things about Guru, learns things about this path of spirituality. Offers selfless service wherever the child can. And some time now passes and the child has the opportunity of doing darshan of the incarnate form of this Gurudev. Now this child arrives into the land of Bharat at the age of 12. And now comes to visit his Guru. His Guru, Sadhvi Avakshi Bharti. The child comes, bows down in front of Guru. And at that point, when does the darshan of Guru, a prayer awakens from inside the child. The child is looking at Guru, is doing darshan, and is offering a prayer and asking Guru for one more thing. Ki hey Gurudev, hey Divine Master, please, please have mercy and grace on me. That I understand that you are not just this incarnate form, that you are that supreme power, that you can do anything at any time. You can incarnate in any form at any point, that you are that supreme Shakti. Please make me realize this within my life. Make me realize that you are that supreme, that you are that Shakti, that you are not just this holy garb, this divinity that I see in front of me. And this continues in a loop, this prayer. No other thought comes into the child's mind. Consistently prayers. Guru looks at the child and offers prasad. Prasad is usually some form of sweet or something to eat that Guru will give physically. But actually what it is Guru's happiness, Guru's blessing. That's what Guru provides. And it could be in any form. Because Sadhvi Avakshi Bharti had said once from the stage that my prasad, my greatest prasad that I can give you is that I stay with you through your highs and lows at all points throughout your journey, so that you attain God, that you attain your goal. That is the biggest prasad, that is the greatest prasad that I offer you. And that's what all us disciples strive for. And now the child doesn't understand what's happened, but takes this prasad and is like, this is a blessing. I asked for something and I believe Guru has granted it. Now the child now stays in the ashram, travels around, sees how things work there. And then before Guru sends the child now away to go back to its life, Guru gives them one clear instruction. You are to study. You are to study hard. You are to give it your all with your full focus. Put your mind fully into your studies. The child bows down, thanks his Guru, and goes. Now the child is thinking and is really deep in thought that my Gurudev knows that I am in the lowest class of all my studies, that I can never focus long enough. The fact that I can't focus long enough also means that's why I don't meditate as often as I should. I get distracted very easily and I really struggle to understand. I really do want to study. I've always wanted to know things, always had a thirst for knowledge, but found it very difficult to bring my attention to a focal point so I could progress. The child is thinking this, but goes, if Guru has said to give it your all, well, I don't know what my all is, but I'm willing to. I am more than willing to give it my all. So then Guru has given this instruction, and the child now goes back, arrives back in the UK and starts studying, starts working hard. Just opens a book and starts reading, starts doing everything that the child can, that the individual can, and a whole year passes. Now it's the start of a brand new year, and the head of departments, the teacher, invites him in, invites this child and says, I have good news for you. The child's like, okay, that's great. Please share with me. He's like, the great news is that you will now go into the highest class, to the top class for English language and English literature. Now the child is happy. At that point, remembers his Guru and goes, thank you, Gurudev. Internally he's saying, thank you, Gurudev. You had given me one instruction and I tried. And you have given me this, you've blessed me, thank you so much. In a small space of a year, you have dramatically changed my life. And now the teacher is observing this child and goes, hold on, there's more news, there's more great news. The child goes, what can be greater than this? The teacher says, you have gone up in all subjects. You will be in the top class for all of your subjects now. Now the child is completely stunned. You knew. He's thinking, hey Gurudev, you knew what I needed, what would make my life better, what would make me happier, what would bring me peace. You gave me an instruction to follow that would cultivate that within my life. And each and every time I struggled and I couldn't figure out how to move forward. I just thought of you, that you have said this, so I must do this, I must find a way. Through doing dhyan, through focusing on Guru time and time again, I found the energy and strength to carry on and achieve this, even though I didn't know this is what I was setting out to achieve. All I knew is that Guru just wants me to do better, and anything that was marginally better was more than enough. But Guru gave me the highest of the high, more than I could have ever asked for. Such a blessing. When we walk this path, time and time again, Guru makes it clear, in order for you to progress, in order for you to be able to make the most and attain your goal, you need to move forward with faith, trust and love. Guru, at this point, has shown that child that I have faith in you, my child. I have trust in you, and has shown his love. Now, why am I bringing this point to your attention? Because we, as human beings, have our faults. We are not perfect by any means. However, each and every time we speak of Guru, Guru, the word itself, Gu means darkness, ignorance, and Ru means the one who dispels that ignorance, who brings about that light. Guru does this through his action. Guru does this through her words. Guru does this through his every instruction he gives to his child, to his shish, to his bhakt, to his disciple. And when that disciple follows that instruction, the disciple at that point understands why Guru had given that instruction. It becomes clear, because this path is practical. This path isn't about following blindly. This path isn't about, oh, Guru tells you something and you just believe it. There's a shlok, there's a verse in the scriptures that says, Jab tak na dekho apni naini, tab tak na mano gur ki beni. Not until you see it with your own eyes should you even believe the words of Guru. Guru is perfect. Through action, through words, through everything. Why? Because Guru is the incarnate form of that supreme consciousness, who has paved the path in this human form, who's come in this form to show us exactly how we can become free of the shackles and the chain of our mind. The mind is meant to be in our control. The lives we are living today are full of pain, distress, mental discomfort, physical pain, illnesses, worries, fears. We spent over 90% of our time worrying, stressed, shackled, not knowing how to break free from our mind so we can have a few moments of peace. Guru has broken through all of those. Has the supreme technique, is the bestower of the supreme technique that brings all your senses into alignment. Opens your third eye. What does it mean, opening your third eye? Your third eye is not an elusive concept. If you research into Kriya Yoga, Kriya Yoga, what Kriya Yoga is, Brahm Gyan, is divine knowledge. It's going through the stages of using that yukti to elevate your consciousness. Because the things we are conscious of is very limited. Our senses can only take in so much, perceive so much. even though it does take in quite a few unconsciously. So unconsciously, our mind, our senses takes in everything. But consciously, us being conscious, what we consciously are aware of is very minuscule, is only small. And our subconscious, as we talk about, that this is the one running the show behind this. That's where everything that we have taken in through our senses is going to be processed that we're not even aware or conscious of. Right now, I'm looking ahead at you. But whatever is happening in my periphery, my senses are taking in and my brain is breaking it down. And my subconscious is filtering it through and using this information. But I am not consciously aware right now what is happening in my periphery. I might sense some movement, but I don't know who's moving. I might be able to hear someone speaking, but I don't know who's speaking. But the subconscious knows. Now there's another form of consciousness. And this is the supreme super consciousness. The awareness behind all of this. And this is the part that is completely untapped by us. That we cannot access. To access this, we need a guru. A guru that has opened this, who has activated this and can show us how we can activate. How we can move towards it so we can become aware and present of the now. That we can hone our attention and focus. This energy that runs our body. Because if I were to die right now, no amount of food, no amount of wealth, no amount of medicine will bring me back to life. Why not? It's the same body. It's the same eyes, nose, face. Everything's the same. But it's not. At that point you realize there's something else that is running this. And it is that supreme consciousness. And when that consciousness leaves this body, then this body is of no value. So then isn't there a question? And isn't the solution within that question? That why are we here? Or why have we received this human body? Must be to do something for the fact that that consciousness doesn't permanently stay here. The death is truth of life. It is the ultimate truth that you will die. You will leave this body. But who are you? And Swami Vivekananda went out on this quest. He had such questions. He really wanted to know, why am I here? They speak of a God. Or they speak of supreme consciousness. They speak of universe. They speak of, oh, I don't believe in God, but I know there's something higher than me. They speak of it. The scriptures have said that it is light. Like the Bible says, God is light, in him there is no darkness at all. This is in the New Testament. But when you go to the Genesis in the Old Testament, it is said God made man in his own image. Well, we all look so different. So does God look very different? But if God looks different, just as we do, then wouldn't it be that God made man in his own images? It's an image. Later, in the New Testament, when it says God is light, in him there is no darkness at all, they're talking about God being light, that supreme Prakash. The highest form of energy is light. In its purest form is light. Those that are well versed in physics, or even the general layman knows this term very well. We talk about the speed of light is the fastest mode of travel. how powerful must that supreme light be? That brings clarity upon a human's life, an individual's life, a person's life, and makes it clear how to move forward. So Swami Vivekananda ji had these questions. Now goes forward to many revered saints, many learned people, many scholars, asking questions. The first he asks is, can God be seen? Excuse me. Swami Vivekananda ji's first question was, is there God? That was the first question. Is there a God? And anyone he encountered, he said, yes, there is a God. There is God. Swami Vivekananda said, okay, this is good. They're saying there is complete faith with 100% surety. Say there is God. And asks, okay, well then can God be seen? He did 25 gurus. He went to 25 gurus. And each and every one offered him mantras, offered him programs, offered him all sorts of techniques, but said, no, God cannot be seen. So at that point, the search had stunted for Swami Vivekananda ji. Because now Swami Vivekananda ji, if they're saying there is a God, but they're saying God can't be seen, then how do you go further? This can't be true. Either there isn't a God, and then you can't see him. That makes sense. Or there is a God. Then if there is a God, then the God must be seen. So then he sets out, and then after this time he's stunted and he's lost, and his friends invite him to a party, and he says to his friends that, I'll come for our friendship, but I am in no mood. But he comes, and then Swami Vivekananda ji sings a song. He sings it for that supreme consciousness, for God, for the universe, whatever you may want to address, who you believe in. And he asks that, where are you? I am looking for you everywhere. Within that congregation is his Gurudev, who will go on to be his Gurudev, Sri Ram Krishna ji. Ram Krishna ji, he listens to this song and then goes up. Now Vivekananda ji's name was Narendra before. At this point his name is Narendra. He was ordained Vivekananda after he was initiated. So he goes there and goes, hi Narendra, you have sung such a beautiful song. Now Narendra looks and sees Swami Ramakrishna Paramahansa ji. Looks at Ramakrishna Paramahansa ji and sees he looks like a saint. But he said, do not be pleased. I did not sing this for you. I sang this for God. For who I am searching for. I sang for him. I did not sing for you. And Ramakrishna Paramahansa ji smiles because I am well aware who you sing for. Now Swami Vivekananda ji couldn't fight back his curiosity. He thought, let me ask. Can God be seen? Ramakrishna Paramahansa ji turns around with a benign smile and says, yes, God can be seen. Because God can be seen. What is the proof? Ramakrishna Paramahansa ji says, as I have seen God, I can show you God within yourself. Narendra, when is initiated into Brahmgyan, is given Brahm Gyan, that divine knowledge, and sees that Prakash within himself, sees that divine light within himself, the ones that the scriptures were talking about, the one he was searching for, he then at that point bows down and surrenders his life into Guru's holy mission. And from that point he is known as Swami Vivekananda Ji. Vivek means supreme intellect, which is activated when Guru gives you Brahm Gyan, divine knowledge. Now that's, at that point, that initiation of Brahm Gyan is what changes the individual's life. These revered saints, these avatars, these Mahapurush, they were not stupid. They weren't lacking in intellect. They weren't lacking in anything. They had their talents. But they, at one point, bowed down and gave over, devoted their lives to their Guru. Why? Why did they do that? Because their Guru had given them a very, very immense boon, blessing. That child, when he walked in 26 years ago and received Brahm Gyan, didn't realize that in that trade, what he had received. Ye tan vish ki belri, Guru Amrit ki khan, शीश दिए तो गुरु मिले तो भी सस्ता जान. That this human body is full of poison. And it's true. If you sit and analyze your body, it's full of many poisons, be it in the form of any negative thoughts, illnesses. There's always something. Guru Amrit ki Khan, that Guru is that supreme, full of that holy nectar. They say, even if you have to give your head, if you give your head and you receive Guru, even then it is a really great deal. You have come out of that profitable. Because at that point, that child said, yes, I'm giving you my mind, body and ego. He only said it, didn't actually do it, offered representations of it, didn't fully commit all those things. But Guru at that point, with Brahm Gyan, Sir Shri Ashutosh Maharaj Ji has said time and time again कि ये Brahm Gyan हमारा सर्वस्व है. That this Brahm Gyan, this divine knowledge, is Guru himself. Guru gives himself at that point. Guru leads us down this path of faith, love and devotion by showing faith, love and devotion in us at every single stage when we are not worthy of it. And I am not saying this to hurt anyone. I am not calling anyone bad. What I am saying is that our actions alone show we are not worthy of this. Guru proves his perfection, her perfection, by giving us that divine knowledge. That is the limitless test. After that, Guru does not need to prove anything else. But still, time and time again, Guru, through his words and actions, lives it and shows us and teaches us how you walk on this path. Puts all his devotion into his disciple. You would think that when the incarnate form of the Almighty comes to this earth, must enjoy, must really take wondrous amounts of holy nectar, must live in such joyous happiness. Actually, what that incarnate form does, that Sakar Swarup does, is takes in poison at every moment of every day. The poison of his disciples' karam and sanskar, of the disciples' actions, past actions, his child's pain and suffering, he takes it upon himself. So even if you give your head and you receive Guru, you have received the best deal of your life. Now as time goes on, Gurudev becomes alop. Alop, by that it means that Sakar Swarup is no longer there with them physically. That now Gurudev has gone into what the world may call Samadhi. That has now gone into a Nirvikalp Samadhi. Now the disciple is clear on the fact that their Gurudev will come back, has full faith in this. However, spends a long time, almost 8 years, with just the photo, the Swarup of his Gurudev. And now, as time goes on, he's getting lost in this world. He's losing his way. He's not meditating or following through on the instructions that his Guru has given him. Life gets more and more difficult. He comes across so many situations he can't find himself through. Certain situations that break him down completely, to the point when the child stops and prays and goes, I know you have gone and you will come back. I don't need the world to tell me this. It doesn't matter what the world claims. It doesn't matter what others claim. I know you. I know if you have gone, you will come, because no Guru leaves without completing the mission. And here, Gurudev, your mission is to bring about world peace. To get this message to everyone, this technique to everyone, so that they can sit within them homes. They can sit and realize who they are. They can connect with that divinity. So they can connect with that supreme consciousness and become aware. That awareness will hone their focus and attention, that they can have power over their own senses. That they can fight death before death arrives. That they can separate that supreme consciousness from this body at will. This is what you are offering them. I know that you are the only one capable of it. So if you have gone, you will come back. The only thing is, now I am lost and I need you desperately. And I thought, just on this technique alone, I would get fine. But actually, that's true. This technique alone would get me there, but I cannot practice it without you. Because the pull of this illusory world is so high. I'm being told that money should be objective. I'm running after money. That relationships should be objective. I'm running after relationships. Power should be objective. I'm running after power. Good standing and respect should be your goal. I'm running after that. I'm constantly in this rat race. I'm achieving nothing. I am lost. Gurudev, I need you more than anything. Now Gurudev arrives in this child's life, but with a twist. Now this individual has now grown up, has gone through university, is now working, and suddenly becomes very, very sick and becomes hospitalized. And at that point, the doctors have said they will not survive. Tell the family to prepare. They will be gone. Death is at this individual's door. That individual doesn't know that death is upon him. All he knows is that he's suffering. So, what does he do? He prays. That please make me better. That's all he asks. Just please make me better. Do focus on these words. Doesn't say heal me, doesn't say cure me, doesn't say anything. Just says please make me better. A little time passes. This individual now sees his body and sees himself, his soul, lifting from this body, and sees this light suddenly bursts right in front of him, comes into form. And this individual in a red sari, the Swaroop of Ma Bhagavati, of Parashakti, comes upon him and sees that she takes the soul, the Pran Shakti, and pushes it back within the body and then disappears. Now this individual wakes up and thinks, oh, that was a dream. Jolted, not aware that it was only a few moments from death. Thought it was always a dream. Okay. Then the doctors tell him, they are so surprised. How have you survived? We had told your family you were on death's door. Miraculously, you have survived. How is this possible? Then that individual remembers. At that point, again becomes that child. And prays and thanks his Guru and goes, thank you for saving my life. I didn't know I was dying. Thank you for saving me. Now that you have saved me, please let me have your darshan. Please let me see your incarnate form. Please let me see you. A little time passes, the prayer continues. Day upon day, the child comes home, this individual comes home. He's a lot older now. I'm saying this child. He's a lot older now. A few months passed after this incident, just a few weeks actually, not a few months. And receives the message of Brahm Gyan again, of divine knowledge. Receives the message of Guru Ma Ashutosh Shambhri Ji. And now speaks to Guru Ma over the phone. Guru Ma at no point says, I am Guru, I am Ma, I am Parashakti, I have come to save you. She does not do any of this, say any of this. The reason I put this out there is the world may expect that what Guru does is walk around saying, I am great, and then other people blindly follow. That is not true. Because Guru's greatness is seen through his actions, through his waking, walking, speaking, everything. Through every action of Guru, you see the divinity. He never has to say it, and actually never does. And now Guru Ma is doing satsang with this individual and is time and time again connecting him with Sarv Shri Ashutosh Maharaj. Time and time again about the teachings of Guru, and that individual's like, this is the same, this is my Guru, I can feel it. I can feel it within the depths of myself. This is my Guru, it's no one else, it is my Guru. Why is my Guru not saying they're my Guru? I know it's them, I can feel them, I can understand them, I can hear them, I know it's my Guru. So then that child goes, well, hey Guru Ma, I would like to do your darshan. Guru Ma says, of course, come and see me. Now this individual comes with this just mindset, I'll come, find out what it is. It's a bit hard to believe because my Guru is Sir Shri Ashutosh Maharaj, how can it be anyone else? But I know something inside of me is telling me this is the truth, that she is. She hasn't said she is, but I can feel it. I must go. So he goes and does the darshan of Guru Maharaj. And when he sees Ma Sakar Sarup, sees the incarnate form of Ma, can't stop crying. Because Ma was the one who had come in that hospital and put life, that soul, back within that body. Had seen it, thought it was a dream and tossed it aside. But in truth it was that point. Because I had asked for Guru to make me better. I had called Sarv Shri Ashutosh Maharaj Ji. Param Pujne Param Shraddhe Guru Ma Ashutosh Shambri Ji is the one that arrived and saved that individual, saved that child from death. After saving their life, then came into their life. By that I mean the individual became consciously aware. She came into their conscious awareness after. So that means that supreme consciousness as supreme being was always there. That child now thought back, now doing darshan of seeing Guru Ma. That pratna that I'd done when I'd seen Sarv Shri Ashutosh Maharaj Ji the first time, that please help me understand you are just not this physical form, you are that Parashakti, you are that supreme power. Please make it so that I understand this. You have practically shown it to me right in front of me. Guru again has shown faith and love and trust within that individual. Now, as time goes on, the individual starts moving towards wanting to follow the path of renunciation, of sannyas. Wants to offer fully everything into the lotus feet of his Guru. Wants to give over everything now. Wants to live a life as Guru wants it. To be of service to humanity. To bring this message of world peace. Through self-awakening to global peace. Because they say, be the change you want to see in this world. You want to see peace in this world, you have to find peace within yourself. And that technique, that yukti, Guru gives and follows you, and it shows you, gets you to practice day in, day out to achieve your goal. So now as these discourses are happening with Guru Ma, things are becoming clear. Now that individual, that child says to Guru Ma, well, I had received such a divine boon many years ago, but I didn't follow this path. I followed the world. I was consciously aware of the truth, but I still walked around like an ignorant. I purposefully had blindfolded myself and walked around as if I was blind when I knew the truth. All I have done is hurt you, Guru. Each and every time, all I have done is hurt you. But yet you still show faith in me, trust in me when I'm not worthy of it. You still love me. Now you're offering me this opportunity, through which not only will it completely resolve and solve everything in my life, but you're giving me an opportunity to bring this to your other children that are calling for you. You're willing to make me your advocate. You're willing to make me your instrument. You're willing to send me out in the world as your representative. It is a huge honor. But I don't think I can do this. I don't want to fail. I can't fail you again. Guru Ma smiled and said, my child, you will not fail. And I was like, how can you be so sure I will not fail? And I was like, because I will not let you fail. And then the child goes, well, if my Guru has said it, my Guru has proven time and time again, will not let me, has never failed me. Guru has given me an instruction, even if I've done a little bit, just a little bit. He's given me much, much more in return for that. So I must have faith. It says in the scriptures as well, it's said many times, that actually the whole world could flip. The earth could start rotating in the opposite direction, go off kilter, that could happen. But what Guru has said, what Guru's words can never, ever, ever be broken. They are the supreme and ultimate truth. And this individual had experienced this, practically experienced this within their life. As time goes on, he receives sannyas and starts walking forward on this path. As he walks forward on this path, some time passes and Guru Mahashutosh Shamriji goes into Samadhi. The whole world goes up in chaos. How is this possible? It is impossible. This is crazy. This is blind faith. But Guru Ma went into Samadhi right in front of that individual's eye. Had that individual close by. And she went into Samadhi. Internally, as that individual go into the depths and depths of meditation, would see the truth. That Ma has gone into such a Samadhi. For world peace. For the awakening of all. For the peace of all, for the betterment of all. To work on a complete cosmic level. But all these things are beyond our mind, you see. We're talking about the awareness, the supreme consciousness, and our mind is only limited to our subconscious and consciousness. This is going way beyond this. Now the individual that has seen God, the one that has this yukti of Brahm Gyan, can delve into the depths of it, has this technique to communicate with that supreme consciousness and understand the truths and the secrets of it. So knows that my Guru Ma has now gone into Samadhi and what she is doing, where she is. And now as they're experiencing this, think back on the message that Ma had given the world. That take as much kripa, as much grace as you can, as much mercy as you can, as much love as you can. That Samadhi is not a time to be sad. It is time to celebrate. It is a change of an era. It is time to celebrate such a wondrous time. That individual's understanding these words, but also his heart breaks. Why is it when the world, when the individuals, when people are turned around and said Sadhvi Avakshi Bharti has gone into Samadhi, why did they cry? Why were they distraught? What happened there? What does this mean? Guru Ma, time and time again, before going into Samadhi, made it very clear, I will awaken Sadhvi Avakshi Bharti from Samadhi. And now this individual took this question into the depths of sadhana and went, how is this possible? How can Guru Ma awaken Sadhvi Avakshi Bharti? It's been over now 10 years. How can Guru wake up from such a long Samadhi? The world has not seen such a thing. Even though there are examples of Samadhis, examples of so many Samadhis in the past where individuals have woken up. Those that would, Ramakrishna Paramahansaji would be walking around and would get doctors and physicians to check him. They couldn't find his pulse. or his breathing. But they're like, you're awake. You're moving around. He would go away for days and days on end. It would look like he's not there. That he has left this body. And then only a few days resume back to normal. There's examples of this in our history. People don't want to believe it. And I'm telling you, I don't want you to believe it. I want you to know it. And the only way to know it is to practically realize it. The path of Brahm Gyan, the path that gurus have been given from time to time, the path of my guru, Sarvshi Ashutosh Maharaj Ji, Guru Ma Ashutosh Shambri Ji, Baba Ji Ashutosh Shambhar Maharaj Ji have only spoken of one and one thing. See God, realize God, live God, become one with God, attain God. This is the path, and they have taken us forward on it. There has not been a matter of words. We have not been placated with promises. We have practically each and every point, every disciple under the guidance of Guru Mahashutosh Shambri Ji and Babaji Maharaj Ji can clearly attest to this fact that they have practically time and time again shown us the truth. Not until we know it. जब तक ना देखो अपनी नैनी तब तक ना मानो गुड़ की बहनी कि not until you see it with your own eyes should you trust the words of Guru. Guru has practically always shown us. Just as Kabir Ji says, तुम कहते हो कागज लेखी, मैं कहता हूँ आँखन देखी, तेरा मेरा मनवा एक कैसे हुए रे. Kabir Ji says, you are speaking of things that you have read or heard. I am talking about what I have seen. How can our perspective be the same? How can we understand one another? How can we bridge that gap? And then Kabir Ji at that point talks about Brahma. That there is a technique given to you by a perfect master. That how I have seen God within myself, you can see God within yourself. How I have seen that divine light within myself, you can see that divine light in yourself. But from there, that's where your journey starts. Your journey starts from seeing God. You haven't attained God yet. To attain God, at every point, you need the support of that Sakar, of that incarnate form of Guru. We are so versed in living in the world, living and taking care of this body, being trapped within this mind. We have forgotten everything about this true spiritual realm, that inner realm. So Guru needs to be with us physically to take us through these physical bounds, these mental bounds that we have, so that we can move forward and attain our objective. And that's exactly what Guru does. Now Guru Ma is now in Samadhi. Little time goes on, this individual is walking on this path and is like, look, my Guru has given me. My Guru is worthy of trust, love and faith. But each time I forget. I get caught up in my desires. I get caught up in other things. I get caught up in worries. Because at that point what I've done is stop thinking about my Guru, and I've stopped practicing or following the instruction of my Guru. That's why I am lost. Because disciples, people of this universe, of this earth, if you have Brahm Gyan or not, those that have Brahm Gyan know this as fact, that when you follow Guru's instructions, you stay on path. You experience peace, joy, love, and you understand what you need to do, and your life becomes so wondrous. But when you do not, you become lost and caught and find it very difficult to move forward. But those that have Brahm Gyan time again can keep coming back to Guru, can keep doing dhyan, can keep doing prayer and keep asking. Those that don't have Brahm Gyan, I say to you, what do you have to lose? Why not come and practically realize it? So we do this, don't we, in the world many time and time again? When someone comes to you and goes, do you know that here they have a special offer going on? You go and check it out. Someone goes on holiday, they go on vacation, they go to a certain place. Let's say they go to the Maldives and they say there's such rich, beautiful oceans. This is wonderful. You experience this. When you go this, there's this difficulty, but it's worth it because this happens. You go, you know what, when I next can, when I am capable, I will book this holiday. I will do it and I will go and experience it myself and see if it's true. So what have you got to lose? You are being told that God exists. God can be seen. Also, you are being given that last piece of the puzzle that all those saints and Mahapurush had to search for a Puran Guru. But you're being told the Guru's here. He could show you God within yourself. What have you got to lose? Why not come and see? Come and see, actually, is there God? Can God be seen? Is there actually practicality here? Why not test it out? Why not find out for yourself? Why not realize yourself that it is worth every effort? That in anything that you do in your life, this will be the very best thing. And you will attest to it yourself. So now as this individual is moving forward, he's sitting and understanding and thinking, look, I need to really follow this path. My Guru's Agya is everything, instruction is everything. And comes across this example, he's heard in satsang many times again, of Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna is sitting and is playing the flute. And the Gopiya, his disciples, are around him. And then they say, hey Krishna, hey Lord Krishna, are you ours? Are you mine? Are you ours? And then Lord Krishna smiles and says to them, I am yours. They then sing and dance and so they look, the God, the Almighty is ours. They're running, they're playing, they're dancing, they're singing. And then they run towards Radhaji. Radhaji was sitting in meditation. She wakes and they go, Radhaji, Radhaji, today is such a wondrous day. We have been blessed. Lord Krishna has said that he is ours. Radhaji smiles and says, yes, this is true, but this has always been true. Lord Krishna was always ours, is now and always will be. The question is, when will we be his? And as time now moves forward and he's thinking about this, he's asking himself the question, when will I actually fully keep going and give myself over to Guru? Because the individual has set out with the goal of attaining God. And the only way you can attain God is through your Guru's instructions, by following Guru's instructions. Because Guru is the one who has come incarnate. Only God can show you the way of God. So, as this happens, Babaji Ashutosh Ambar Maharaj Ji, Brahmnisht Puran Guru, Tat Veva, Brahmnisht Puran Guru, perfect master, says it's time to progress you on this spiritual journey. It is now time for you to take this knowledge of Brahm Gyan and give it out to the world. You will go as my representative into this world. I am trusting you to do this. I have full faith you will do it well. You have all my blessings and love with you. Take this into the world and get it to everyone. And such a supreme honor was bestowed upon that individual. And now that individual is reflecting, is sitting now deep in meditation and is thinking, I was given Brahm Gyan when I asked in exchange for myself, for whatever I could offer. My body, mind and ego. That please give me this Brahm Gyan, this divine knowledge, so I can see God and move forward and know who I am, follow this path of self-realization. Guru at that point had given him everything. Didn't realize, the individual didn't realize, the child didn't realize that everything that child could ever have asked for and more was given to him. Had slight glimpses as time went on that Guru always gives more. You ask for very little, he gives you more. The individual on his deathbed had asked, make me better. Guru clearly took it as a personal challenge and went, I will make you better. You will now progress even further. Showed again through his actions, teaches his disciples and teaches the world through action. Because Guru is not affected in any company or in any environment. He has full control of the elements and himself and herself at all times. But still keeps himself in a specific, governs himself within the laws of the universe. Doesn't need to, but does. To teach us, to teach humanity how we are to move forward, how our actions should be, how our thinking should be. And Babaji Ashutosh Shambar Maharaj Ji made this very clear. It's like when you pray, everyone prays for themselves. They say, give me this, I need money, I need a son, I need a daughter, I need this, I need this. Very rare are those that pray for others. Have you heard of the law of abundance? Now, shall we break down this law logically? And let's have a look at the logic of this, the logic. It was like, if you are being handed out mangoes, let's say, and there's an infinite amount of mangoes. An infinite amount. And the one individual, each and every individual just prays for themselves, like, please give it to me, just please give it to me. They keep giving those mangoes. But it's a limit, it only comes to that individual. It doesn't go any further. It just comes to them. But when that individual asks and says, you have an infinite supply, please give it to all. Please give it to all. That abundance is limitless. It keeps going. Now you guys will now find a flaw within this logic right now. You will say, well, actually, the limitless amount can be given to this individual, and then he can give it to everyone. Why can't that happen? Well, this individual doesn't have these resources to give the infinite, to keep giving. But the one with that infinite supply already has that supply chain and can get it to everyone at the same time. Doesn't need to give the infinite to you, because that would take an infinite amount of time. We're working with infinity here. An infinite amount of time. And that doesn't bring about abundance. It actually slows down the process. But actually, if an individual in one time asks the infinite, asks for the betterment of all, prays for everyone, then that abundance gets sent out to everyone at the same time. It creates abundance. It brings more. There's an infinite supply. Remember this. goes and goes to all, rather than limiting it to themselves. And each and every step of the way our Guru has taught us this. To ask for the betterment of humanity for all, for those that cannot see so that they can see, that they can move forward on this path. Guru has blessed us so immensely, and this individual now is moving forward and decides to sit and actually analyze and think that, hold on, in the world we go after many things, be it money, power, so on. However, when people come onto this path of devotion to find God, they do it for supreme freedom, for mukti, for moksha. But what must there be so wondrous about Guru that all the bhakts and disciples of time have said, I have no need for this moksha, this freedom. All I need is my Guru. All I need is my Guru. And then it made me think that Guru works in many benevolent forms. And the most benevolence of our Guru, Babaji Ashutosh Ambar Maharaj Ji, you'll clearly be able to see within his divinity at every point we are shown how to walk upon this path. Through his every action, through his every word, through everything, makes it very clear how a disciple is to walk on this path and how is to move forward. And it reminds me of a time in history when Abraham was called upon by the Lord. Abraham for many, many years had prayed and prayed and prayed and asked for a son. God had bestowed this blessing and given him a son. The family lived very happily. Abraham was very pleased. Then with time, as his son Isaac got older, a time came when God called upon them and said, Abraham, give me back what is mine. I gave you this son. Now it's time for you to sacrifice him to me. Abraham at that point bowed down and went, if this is your instruction, I know it is for my betterment, I will do it. Isaac even says, yes, if this is God's will, then it is for my betterment, it is for the betterment of us all. I am more than willing. Abraham makes the preparations and gets ready, and then starts moving towards sacrificing his son. God stops him. He says, you have proven your faith and trust and love and devotion within me. You do not need to do this. I accept. You do not need to do this. You do not need to sacrifice this. But straight after, in the place of his son, God tells him to sacrifice a goat. Now, understand this. God didn't require a sacrifice. Didn't need a goat. What the goat represents is actually a massive symbol, because goats in that time were known as their wealth. And wealth, as we all know, or money, whatever you would, whichever terms you want to put it forward in, is a representation of our ego. So even then, if you look at it closely, really pay attention to this point, you see God at that point cut off his ego. Why? What ego? He was already sacrificing his son. It's a wondrous thing. The thing is, those on the followers of this path will realize that as they prove themselves, as they go on to many heights and prove their love and devotion to God, and they move forward, ego has a way of falling in. Oh, I've done something so great. The way Guru works, the way through this story I'm trying to explain the practical experience this individual is having of Babaji Maharaj in his life. That no matter what circumstance comes in front of this individual that tests his love, faith and devotion, his trust in Guru, no matter what the situation is, Guru not only takes him through to the very end and passes him and makes it clear each and every time. Guru builds the self-esteem of a disciple, shows them the abilities and the capabilities the individual has. Guru kar le aap saman. What Guru does is makes his disciple just like himself. Guru does it, but then Guru also shows up, knowing that even the slightest bit of ego, the slightest thing will take him away from this path, comes in and cuts it off straight away. That is Kripa. Moksha Moolam Guru Re Kripa. The root of all freedom, the root of that moksha is Guru's grace. And Babaji Ashutosh Shambar Maharaj Ji is the epitome of that grace. And this is what this individual has realized within their lives. That individual 26 years later is sitting in front of you, is speaking to you now, and is saying that if you want any form of peace, any form of clarity within your lives, even if you have the curiosity to find out what are they even talking about, God can be seen. My saying to you is that that child made a trade 26 years ago and actually didn't offer anything, didn't actually give anything. So at a very later point started understanding the value of Guru and started actually progressing towards surrendering into the lotus feet of his Guru. Started understanding the truth of life and started moving forward. At that time, the child didn't know. The child didn't know that in exchange for even a few prayers, the Guru was giving them the biggest blessing of all. Guru is the root of everything, is supreme perfection. Dhyan moolam Guru re murti, puja moolam Guru re padam, mantra moolam Guru re vakyam, moksha moolam Guru re kripa. The root of all meditation, the root of all focus, the root of all depth of meditation is Guru's Murti, is Guru's incarnate Swarup, is Guru's Swarup. It's his incarnate form. The root of all prayer is Guru's Sri Charan, the lotus feet where you bow down. The root of all mantras is Guru's words, is Guru's said words. And the root of this freedom, of this cycle of birth and death, of reincarnation, to be free of your karma. Not that you collect good karma and then you are then condemned to come back again in another form, even if it is a so-called good life. You are free from the pain of life and death. This is what Guru offers you, and Guru is the root of all that. Guru is the root of every miracle. Guru is the root of every blessing. Guru is the root of every divinity. And Guru offers you this. I'd say, I urge you all come along, make that deal, make it happen. Or at least test out your curiosity and find out more. It is well worth it. It will change your life. And even the things that you did not even know you desired, Guru works towards bringing it into your life and making it a truth. So with these words, I would like to offer a prayer into the lotus feet of my Guru, Guru Maashutosh Shambri Ji, Baba Ji Maharaj Ji, Sir Shri Ashutosh Bhagwan Ji, that please bless us all with the path of Brahm Gyan. Please help us turn our words into action. Please make it so that with every breath and every action, with everything that we are, that we worship you, we love you, we show faith in you, trust in you, devotion in you, so that we can attain the supreme goal of becoming one with that supreme consciousness, to understand who we truly are. Hey Gurudev, please bless us, shower upon us your grace, and give us the capability of taking on that grace and turning it into action, and living a life that will not only benefit ourselves but all others. तो बोलिए परम पूजनीय परम वंदनीय माँ आशुतोष शामली जी की जय, परम पूजनीय परम श्रद्धेय बाबा जी महाराज जी की जय, परम पूजनीय परम श्रद्धेय सर श्री आशुतोष महाराज जी की जय।